It is very good to learn two words on musical notation. The word scale and the word octave. Let us begin by understanding what is a musical octave. There's two ways that we can learn an octave. One way is if someone says, let's play an octave. For example, let's play an octave C. That would mean that we were going to play two notes, maybe middle C, perhaps, and high C. It really doesn't matter which two C's we play, as long as they're 8 notes apart. But when we say play an octave, that's what we mean. Play an octave F, then we would play 2 Fs. Play an octave D, we would play 2 Ds. But now what if we say move an octave? Well, that's usually written with an 8, VA. So now, in 8 VA, if the line goes to the right, as you'll see in the illustration, and comes down, this means to move up an octave. For example, if our hand was on middle C, our right hand, and above middle C there was a line going to the right and then coming down with an 8 VA at the beginning, then that would mean take your hand, move it 8 notes higher, and play up here. Now the reason we use that octave sign a lot of times is just to save us from a lot of hard note reading with extra lines. But now what if the line comes down and shoves to the left? Then the 8 VA shoved to the left would mean go an octave lower. So then we would move our hand, most likely the left hand, but we would go down to perhaps 8 notes lower. Octave higher, octave lower. Now, what about the word scale? Scale is very similar, except that it means the whole range of sound between those 2 points. For example, if we were going to go from C to C, like we said we did with the 2 notes in octave, playing a scale would mean we're going to play each key. Scales are very important in music because artists like to sing in different pitches, and a good piano player wants to learn how to express different kinds of music and different ranges of sound. So scales are very important. They help us a lot, and more will be said in another video about scales. But for the moment, let's find out what a scale is. So when we went from C to C, did it sound good to our ear? Yes, each key sounds like it's the next musical step, like a staircase. Now, that is the only scale you can go in music, the only 2 points where you don't have to play any adjustments. You don't have to go what we call sharp, we don't have to go flat. If we start on any other scale, for example, let's do the scale of G. Now, one of those notes we have to adjust. Could you hear which one it was? It was this one, F. Listen to the difference when we put F sharp in it. Much nicer. And that's because of a formula, a little musical notation formula that allows us to find a scale mathematically. It just works out that way. Another scale that we learn at first, we learn C, and then we learn G, but we also learn F. F has B flat in it. Listen. That time I just played B. Now, how does it sound when we put B flat? Much better. Musicians often refer to scales by the word key. what key you playing in. It just means what scale are you playing in. Students and teachers, oftentimes they use the proper word scale. Either way, it's the same. And that's our lesson today on what is a scale and an octave.